Shabbat Shalom. A little bit later, we'll return to the poetry of Lecha Dodi, but for now, we'll turn just to the first word, Lecha, come, as we enter into this space and this special festive Shabbat. So I'd like to invite you to sing along with me that one word, and as we get settled in with that word, eventually, I'll leave that part to you, and I'll add something new. Shabbat nekabela, lecha, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha, lecha, lecha.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I don't know about you, but it has felt lately like May is the month of a million endings. Yeah, everyone's in pretty much agreement with that, I can see. 49, 50, 51 days ago, many of us were here, actually it was the second day, so 50 days ago, many of us were here celebrating Pesach and the changing of seasons and the beginning of new growth. So if you were not pleased with the rain today, remember we literally prayed for it. It's what we do, and we change our blessings to acknowledge that this is the season that it all comes down from the heavens. And tomorrow morning, I know my garden and probably yours too will be much more flush than it is today. For a season that is all about birth and growth and new growth, we sure are trying to let go of a lot of things throughout the week as we approach Shabbat, of course. A lot of things for the year as we wrap up school and seasons and sports teams. For some of us, our entire high school careers, which of course we will be celebrating tonight with most of our 2026 high school graduates here. Hi. And for those of us who are still, and I say us because it is a significant part of the Jewish world, whether it's us individually or not, those of us who are still celebrating Shavuot, the sanctity of that day is on our mind as well, along with those of us who celebrate one day, which I'll be speaking about a little bit more later. The program last night here at Touro was artistic and deep and thoughtful and intriguing and a little mind-boggling with some of the text. But here we are celebrating this really sacred day of Shavuot on the today or in the aftermath as well. There are a lot of things that we want to say to our graduates and a lot of prayers that we know are on our lips every Shabbat. And in order to begin all of that, we do have to welcome in Shabbat with blessings and candles and Kiddush. So I'd like to invite all of our 2026 graduates who are here today to bring your Sidurim with you. We're going to be on page 2 for our candle blessing. You all can come on up and join us.
במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel whose kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Growing up, my life has always been connected to Touro Synagogue. Whether it be passing out prayer books with my grandmother on Friday night services or begrudgingly going to Sunday school as a child, to then choosing to come back and help teach, it has always been a consistent part of my week. One of my favorite memories growing up here was when Maya first came to Touro. Our grade was not always the best behaved, and as such, we could never seem to keep a teacher around for long. So when Maya came on Wednesday to teach us, we thought nothing was going to be different. But she was different. She was able to find a way to communicate with us that none of our other teachers were able to, and made us really want to engage in our Hebrew and Jewish education. She laid the path for what became of our grade. Because of Maya's patience, kindness, and help, we were able to all successfully have our B'nai Mitzvahs as well as gain further knowledge in our Judaism. For me, this is truly where I dived into my Judaism. Being able to learn more about my religion and using that to connect to others shaped me into who I am today. Unconsciously, I have lived by my Jewish values and teachings without even realizing I was doing so. Touro has been instrumental to my growth as a person. It has taught me perseverance, strength, intellect, and how valuable a community of people can be. Now as I prepare to attend college next year, I know these skills will carry on with me, helping to continue to shape me into a better person. Thank you to Rabbi Silverman, who has been our #1 cheerleader since the beginning. I do not know what I, let alone all of us, would have done without your humor, patience, and guidance. Thank you to Touro for giving me a second home and my Touro friends who have helped me grow in all different ways. Thank you.
As Sydney just demonstrated, we will be hearing some reflections from a selection of our graduating seniors this evening. We are going to continue with the Kiddush blessing, which is on page 5. If you're able, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. You can take a sip. You can be seated, and all of our grads, except for the 2 who know otherwise, can go ahead and be seated. See you all in a little bit.
We welcome in Shabbat with psalms and songs beginning on page 12.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai nariha letzor yishenu nekadma fana betoda bizmirot nariha lo jiru l'Adonai shikada Jiru l'Adonai kor Jiru l'Adonai baruch shemo Basru miyom leyom yeshuato Zapru
Thinking about my time at Touro Synagogue, I was originally asked to write about one specific moment that meant something to me. But honestly, one moment doesn't really do justice what Touro has meant to me. Instead, I'd rather briefly talk about it all, from being here in pre-K to now coming back as a Madrahim. When I was younger, I was definitely loud and definitely disruptive in class. I talked too much, got distracted too easily, and definitely tested the patience of more than a few teachers. At the time, I never would have imagined I'd grow into the person I am now. Although to be fair, I'm still loud and I still think I'm really funny. However, what's funny now is coming back to Touro as a Madrahim and seeing kids who are just like me, just as loud and nosy as I once was. Instead of being annoyed by it, I see myself in them. I realize now that a lot of that energy just needed direction. Over time, mine channeled into different passions for sports, engineering, and science. That passion is why I'm going to Georgia Tech this fall, where I'll study mechanical engineering and business. But more than anything, I just want to say thank you to everyone at Touro for helping shape me into the person I am today. Touro has always been a core part of my childhood and will leave a lasting impression on me, and especially Rabbi Silverman. I'll always appreciate everything you've done for me. I know people might think we have a bit of a love-hate relationship because of the jokes, but I'll always be your good friend, and I know you'll be mine too.
Lechato D is on page 20. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Yadidadidai lechato D. Yadidadidai likrat kala. Yadidadidai p'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat lekabela. Yadidadidai lechato D. Yadidadidai likrat kala. Yadidadidai p'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat lekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad. Yishmi'anu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet ben v'tilai. Yadidadidai lechato D. Yadidadidai likrat kala. Yadidadidai p'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat lekabela. Likrat Shabbat leReuven elcha. Ki mekor habracha. Merosh mikeder nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshvat tchila. Yadidadidai, yadidadidai lechato D. Yadidadidai likrat kala. Yadidadidai p'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat lekabela. Verse 5. Itoreni, Itoreni, Ki ivaoret kumioni. Ori, ori, shir daveri. Kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Yadidadidai, yadidadidai lechato D. Yadidadidai likrat kala. Yadidadidai p'nei Shabbat. P'nei Shabbat lekabela.
בשלום, עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, ידעי לחדדי, ידעי לקראת כלה, ידעי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה.
You can be seated. For those of you who were here for the annual meeting, you heard me say that I'm pretty short on the things that I can say I'm doing for the first time here at this point, having been here almost a year. But it's really powerful to get to have an opportunity to think back on a year and see the culmination of something, and also think back about previous things. Just before the services, as we were all getting settled, I was having a little chat in the foyer, and I referred to all of you graduates, almost graduates, as our kids. And I know all of you don't know me so well, and I haven't spent as much time with you as the others, but this is the privilege that we get of being your educators, your clergy, your lay leaders, is we get to see you grow up and accomplish things, even if it's only in a couple of months. And in mentioning that, I'm thinking back to all of the other kids who I've taught, some of whom are probably about your age now. And yeah, they were always a little noisy in the classrooms and funny. And you get to give us a great gift as well by allowing us into your lives and showing us how you grow. For those of you who are here tonight who might be a little bit smaller than them, we get the privilege of really seeing you grow. And so if you just look over to these individuals, you've got really good role models of who you can be and who you can aspire to be and how you can contribute to our community. So for our graduates, we'll bless you in particular later, but this time in the service is for all the little ones. So if you're under the age of bar or bat mitzvah, come on up so we can make another little memory tonight. If you want, you don't have to. Come on up. And we'll give you a blessing.
Good evening, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. First, I would like to thank Rabbi Silverman for allowing me the privilege of speaking at our Shabbat service today. I also want to congratulate my graduating class on this important milestone of graduating from high school. When I think back on growing up at Touro Synagogue, one memory that sticks out most to me is sitting with my family and looking through old preschool photos from Touro and the JCC. As I flipped through the pictures, I saw tiny versions of people I now know so well. Classmates, friends, and families who have been a part of my life for years without me even realizing it at the time. In one photo, we were sitting on the floor during Sunday school reading books about the Torah. In another, we were playing dress up together at the JCC. Looking at those photos felt like opening a time capsule. What surprised me most while looking through those photos was discovering how many of the people beside me today have actually been beside me all along. Some classmates, like Billy and Peyton, I didn't even know were in my preschool class because we were so young. But those pictures reminded me that our connection started long before we could remember it ourselves. People often describe their community as family, but for me, this community truly is my second family. Touro has given us a bond that goes beyond school or synagogue. We grew up together, learned together, and now, as we graduate together, I realize how special that is. This fall, I will attend Elon University, a school I first learned about from my friend Henry Haber, who is also a part of my Touro family and here today. Just as Touro has connected me to the people throughout my childhood, I know those connections will continue into the future. I'm so grateful to have grown up at Touro Synagogue alongside the graduating class of 2026. Looking back through those old photos reminds me not only of how much we've grown, but also of the friendships, memories, and the sense of family that have stayed with us through every stage of life. Those are the people and memories I will always carry with me.
We'll continue as we rise in body or spirit for words of Baruch Hu, bringing us into the core liturgy parts of our service. Page 28. Normally we flip right to the next page for the following prayer Ma'ariv Aravim, but I think in the spirit of these young leaders who are in front of us heading out into their own circles, as we've heard already, and we know we will celebrate momentarily, please look to the top of page 29. There's one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There's one who leaves the circle of herself and sings the song of her people. There is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. Nivarech, let us bless. Let us continue to strive to unite with all creatures and with all worlds, with each other, wherever we find ourselves, whether it's here in this sanctuary or out in the world at whatever university or other place we might be going. We'll continue on page 36 lines up from the bottom with Cantor and Lily.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה
we get the opportunity to share it, teach it, learn it. And certainly we are doing that here tonight as we have throughout all of your young lives. And we get to keep this gift close to our hearts. We take it with us wherever we go. It doesn't have to be right here in this sanctuary, but it can be wherever our journeys and our paths go. We get to keep those words, those lessons, and those memories close to our heart. We'll conclude this little section with the Hatima on page 32.
Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Yedai, yedai, yedai,
Page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. We'll continue on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
When I first arrived here and met all of you, I was informed very quickly one Sunday that I was singing the wrong Mi Chamocha. And cantors hear that from time to time, that it's the wrong one, but never had I been in Sunday school tefillah and heard a room full of students so confident that I didn't know which one was the right one. And there's something about these songs that when we come back to them, that touch our souls a little differently because they don't have within them just the melody that we sing, but also the memories of singing them together with each of us, with people who are no longer in the room together. And this song, this Mi Chamocha especially, is one that seems to have been with our congregation strongly in recent years. So we turn to page 40 and sing our song of liberation together.
No,
ונאמר כבד אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גא ישראל.
Page 43. If our graduating class has taught us anything, even just in these past few reflections, it's the true essence of this prayer as this creative interpretation shares at the top of page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you. Thinking back on growing up at Touro Synagogue, one memory that sticks out in my mind is all the laughs that my classmates and I shared during confirmation. Every Sunday, whether we were supposed to be having serious discussions or paying attention in class, there was always somebody making a joke or finding a way to make everybody laugh. I can still picture all of us sitting together, talking before class started, laughing during breaks, and just genuinely enjoying being around each other. What makes those memories even more special is that although confirmation was almost 2 years ago, and even though we stopped going to Sunday school a very long time ago, our grade has still stayed incredibly close. That means a lot to me because Touro was never just a place where I learned prayers or traditions, but a place where I built friendships and felt a part of a real community. Growing up here helped me shape not only my Jewish identity, but also who I am as a person. It taught me the importance of connection, community, and always having people around you and who support you and care about you. And now, as I prepare to attend college this fall, I know I'll take those lessons and memories with me. No matter where life goes next, I'll always appreciate the friendships, community, and sense of belonging that Touro has given me growing up.
Continue with words of the Amidah beginning on page 46. I invite you to rise as you're able in body or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftachu v'yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov,
Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor VeHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei HaKol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Morid HaTal, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melech, Melech Meimid Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neheman Atah L'chayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yalaluch Asela, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. I'll invite you to join with me at the top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch Atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch Atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha, Ulecha Na'eh Lehodot. I'll invite you to take a few moments for personal prayers and private reflections at this time.
Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Oyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Ve'yimru Amen.
Page 253. As any number of our blessings, daily or weekly, Shabbat, or for any old time, tell us, and as I think every one of our reflections thus far has reminded us, there is something that draws us together as a community greater than Sunday school and B'nai Mitzvah seasons and youth group. There are elements of community and brotherhood, sisterhood, and a feeling of family that permeates all of that. And who else would you want around you when there's something in your life that feels incomplete and unwhole and in pain or broken? Who else would you might want around you when we offer a blessing of Misha Berach? A blessing that says that there are things in this world, people and cities and communities and ideas and hearts that are broken. And then when we come together and we offer blessings like this together, perhaps it is the first little bit of healing. And so we offer this blessing of Misha Berach, Avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah, hu yavarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal all those who are ill. And if you are thinking of any names right now and you would like, we invite you to whisper them. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And to that, let us all say, Amen.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
I spent more time than I probably should have, but it was a joy no matter what, texting a lot of people to make sure that they would be here this night for their blessing. And I don't have time to go through all of their responses, but two of my favorites were this. Are you going to talk for a long time? And are you going to cry a lot? And I think we all know the answers to both of those, which is yes. An interesting thing happens tonight. Happens every now and then, actually, in the modern Jewish world. A significant part of the Jewish world finds themselves reading a different Torah portion than the rest. And the rest don't get to that Torah portion until next week. It's an odd phenomenon of our calendar, but here's why it happens in a nutshell. Shavuot, which began yesterday at sundown, is for some Jews a one-day holiday, and for other Jews a two-day holiday. If you want to know more why, we'll have some adult ed classes throughout the year, or a Jewish Studies 101 course online or at your college, and that'll get deeper into it. But it is a thing that happens. For some of us it's one day, for some it's two. Well, when that second day is also Shabbat, there's a special Torah reading for Shavuot that would supersede our normal Torah portion. So for the one-dayers, we're reading the regular Torah portion. For the two-dayers, we don't get to that till next week. It's not ideal that this happens, but there's a solution to it. Our side of the debate, not our side of the Jews, but rather our side of this debate, takes the easy route, and we split this week's Torah portion, Naso, into two pieces. It's not, like I said, ideal, but it's probably the best thing that could happen for this Torah portion because Parshat Naso is the single longest Torah portion in the entire Torah. It covers chapter upon chapter upon chapter of a sweeping range of topics. Things like the duties of the Levites, the helpers, the sort of like functionaries of the temple. Not quite priests, but not quite laymen. It covers the vow of the Nazirite. How is it that you can say, I'm about to enter a special period of my life and want to mark myself, my actions, and my physical self to look like it's different until such time this special moment, hard or easy or celebratory or thoughtful, is over with. This week's Parsha, Naso, also is where we read the priestly blessing. That is the three-line blessing that we offer to the little ones up here on the bima each week. And it is also where we hear that each and every tribe, all 12 tribes, bring to God at the Mishkan gifts, the identically same gifts as the other 11 tribes. And we read all 12 of those gifts in their entirety, bit by bit, piece by piece, all of it, 12 times. For some, this is an incredibly hard thing to sit through, especially when you're trying to lead Torah study and you're saying the same things literally a dozen times. For B'nai Mitzvah kids who fall on this Shabbat, you're lucky, because all you have to do is say the same thing 12 times over and over again and swap out a word or two for a name here or there. It's not a bad trade-off. It leads us to wonder, why does the Torah write out all 12 of these offerings in full, word for word, even though they are completely identical? Well, 2 Jews, 3 opinions, 2,000 years, you do the math. But there is a beautiful midrash, an explanation, an inquiry of the rabbis into this. And they explain it like this, that even though the gifts in their hands were the same, the leaders who brought them were not. The intentions in each of their hearts was not. Their own stories, the personal history of each of those people is not. Barely any of it is identical, they say. Just the physical things, the little bit of the gift. To God, they remind us, no two offerings are actually identical because no two people are identical. No two people are identical, and that's where I want to turn to you, this year's graduates. I could talk a little bit about each one of you briefly, except, and here's where that one of those things you asked me if I might do might start. I could talk about each of you briefly, except I'm very proud of all of you, and I love you. And when those two things converge, speaking briefly is really difficult. I could talk about how I am very confident in my role as a rabbi because of groups like you, some of the first that I encountered on my very first day as a baby rabbi, not much older, really, I think, than you are now, it seems. Except it's not about me, it's about you all. So among the chorus of accolades that I know you all are rightfully getting this weekend and next week as you graduate, I will stick to mine and keep them in the Jewish realm. You have all just completed pretty much the same academic program, give or take. A lot of you sat in the same classrooms as each other. In your classes at different schools and in different subjects, you might have read a lot of the same books or taken a lot of the same tests. From the outside, from an observer, you might look identical in any number of ways. And of course, we know you aren't. Each of you has brought and does bring something entirely your own to these years that you've spent as one of our kids here at Touro. Your questions, your answers, your breakthroughs, your personal struggles, your particular way of showing up in the world. And Torah teaches us that the difference is not incidental. The difference is the entire point. We're also, as I mentioned, here at the season of Shavuot, which for some, like I said, we have just celebrated. Others are in the midst of it. Shavuot, amongst other things, is the holiday that marks the giving of the Torah to our people at Mount Sinai. And you know me, I surely cannot ignore that there is something about that moment in our people's history corresponding so directly with this moment in your own history. When from atop a mountain, it seems, some glimpse of the future and who we are to be is right there in front of us, put into our hands. Another midrash describes that scene at the bottom of Mount Sinai in this striking way. It says that God's voice went out to all the ears of all the people at once, but yet, kol echad ve'echad lefi kocho, that each person heard it according to their own strength, their own capacity, and their own history. Each of them heard the same thing, whether they were elderly or a teenager, whether they were poor or rich. Each of them heard the same thing in a different way. One single divine moment included countless individual experiences. This is a moment at Sinai, receiving Torah, which binds us, this moment rather, at Sinai, when we received the Torah, which bound us together, was nothing close to an event that flattened everybody into the same thing. It is actually a moment of radical and simultaneous individuality. And as you wear gowns and robes that make you look like everybody else around you, remember that as you walk up steps and receive a diploma that looks like others into your own hands. That also is a moment of radical, simultaneous individuality. That is what education is supposed to be. It's not about pouring identical content into identical vessels, but speaking, as one of you said earlier, speaking to each student in a frequency that they can hear. The best teachers, and I bet that some of you had these kinds of teachers, know how to do this. They give the same lesson to a room full of people, and somehow it reaches each one of them slightly differently. That's what we could call the Sinai model of education. That is what Torah-shaped learning looks like. One other dimension of Shavuot that's worth sitting with and thinking about today is that we have just completed this period of the Omer, the counting of 49 days from Passover to Shavuot, this period of anticipation and preparation before receiving Torah. The journey from liberation to revelation took time, because journeys take time. Leaving Egypt is a beginning, not the ending. It's where our story starts, not where it culminates. We had to cross a wilderness first. And a lot of you are thinking that too about your high school experience, that it could have been just a series of classes. But if you did it right, it's about a crossing through confusion, through periods of growth, through moments of genuine discovery and moments of real difficulty, and showing up at a moment like Mount Sinai at your graduation and remembering that you walked through the desert to get here along with others, and that the journey matters. The journey matters going forward as well. So it's my honor now in just a moment to call all of you up by your names. As you make your way up, Rabbi Kowalski is going to be over here at the table and has a gift for each of you. I won't spoil it. It is oh, here we go. It's basically the same gift, but it's individual for all of you. We nailed it. Oh, we totally nailed it. And if you haven't seen, and Sarah Tucker Lazarus back there, if you don't get a chance to, before you go to dinner, make sure before you leave, she did a big lift, making sure all of these gifts got here. You think New Orleans customer service is something else. Oof, okay. So we'd like to invite you all up. You can leave your books where they are. But as you hear your name, come on up to the bima. What's inside these gifts really does truly represent only a fraction of the love and the joy and the pride that we feel for each of you. But it's a start. And God willing, we'll be back here together for moments when we can celebrate that love and that pride again. Sydney Altmont, going to American University. Lily Arjmond, going to Rhodes College. Billy Braunegg, going to LSU. Max Denson, heading to the University of Chicago. Leah Eisner to Tulane University. Lily Ellickman, Colorado University at Boulder. Sam Ellickman to Wofford College. Katie Gershanik, LSU. Oh, she's not here, right, sorry. It's even on my sheet, right here. It's even on my sheet, right? Thomas Gershanik, Georgia Tech. Henry Haber, University of Alabama. Peyton Katz, University of Georgia. Elena Klingsberg, Sewanee, the University of the South. Lily Pollack, Washington University, St. Louis. Simone Promoslavsky, Tulane University. Tyler Ruth, University of Chicago. And Jessica Toronto to Elon University. We also just want to acknowledge, of course, the members of this graduating class who aren't here tonight, to Haley Walsh, Cole Koppel, and Cortland Katz, and to Katie Gershanik. You all are standing here on this bima where most of you have been probably 1 million times before. You're standing right underneath that Ner Tamid, and I want to remind you, as I do all the time in all different ways, that this flame is not just an adornment of our congregation. It is our people's porch light. And as long as it's on, we expect you every now and then to come home and visit. I'm going to ask everybody, if you could, to please rise as the ark is open. Rabbi Bowman, Rabbi Kowalski, and I offer them a blessing.
turn now to page 282, Remain Standing for Aleinu. It is upon our shoulders to build the future that we believe that everyone deserves and that our children, our young people deserve. We declare that with these words.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We dedicate these final moments in our service to the sacred act of memory, recalling those whom we have loved, those whom we have lost, whether in recent days or many years ago. One of the beautiful teachings about Shavuot and about Torah in general is that the giving of the Torah began at a certain moment. It began at the stance of Mount Sinai that we're remembering on this holiday, but it is an ongoing process. It never ends. That's why when we bless the Torah, as all of our graduates did, sometime around 2021 or 22 or whenever you managed to have your B'nai Mitzvah during COVID, we say, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives the Torah, not who gave it, but who gives it. And I think that's an important teaching as we consider what it is to love and to lose, and the truth of a life to continue to unfold days, weeks, months, years, decades, sometimes even centuries after it has been lived. The revelation that we gain through loving and losing and remembering lasts forever. It is an ongoing process, just as the process of revelation at Mount Sinai. So we give thanks for that ongoing process, all that we learn about our loved ones, all that we learn about ourselves, all that we learn about who we want to be and what we want to build. All of that comes from the Torah of a human life. And we give thanks for those lives now as we remember. It's our custom to invite those who are remembering to rise when your loved one's name is called and to remain standing until the rest of the community joins you. We all know what it is to mourn, and we want to recognize each other in that space of mourning and grieving, however we process through it. So you are welcome to do that when you hear your loved one's name. We send our love to the family of Jeffrey Mark Baker, who will be laid to rest after Shabbat. For Shiva, those who died within the last 30 days, we recall Colin Mayer, Rena Shar, and Nestor Lemerton. For Shloshim, we recall Esther Steinbach Vanderberg and Stephen Foster Cannon. And for Yahrzeit on this Shabbat, those who died at this season and years past, we recall Mina Levy Bolag, Lena Miller Burke, Elizabeth Edelstein, Arnold Falk, a past president of Touro Synagogue, Annie Campbell Fishman, Joellen Fleischman Lawton, Seymour Gabiner, Dr. Philip Goldberg, Anna K. Goldstein, Harry H. Goldstein, Henry Hirsch, Harold Louis Kallenberg, Victor K. Kayam II, Early Klein, Gary Klein, Morris William Levy, MD, Alex Lith, William Anthony Lovett, Max Margolis, Byron Mayer, Stephen Douglas Powell, Sidney Samuel Rosenblum, Mitchell P. Samuelson, Adele Schwartz, Morris B. Sondheimer, Percival Stern, Jeanette Strug, David Bertram Young, Charles A. Zucker. I'll bring my hand around the sanctuary. If you are remembering a loved one, you're welcome to rise and share their name. For those we name aloud, for those we hold in our hearts, for those who we know are mourning and across our city and across the world who we may never meet, and for those for whom there is no one left in our community to say Kaddish, we turn to page 294 and rise together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yit hadar v'yit aleh v'yit halal shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma ve'imru, amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world. May God comfort all those who are bereaved among us, and we say together, amen. You may be seated. It's a pleasure to invite forward our congregational president, Kevin Wilkins, for our Shabbat announcements.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom, y'all. What an incredible service. Thank you to our graduating class for lighting the candles this evening. It was really, really meaningful. I'll come back to you in a sec. Thank you to Jill Israel and to Julie Silbert for greeting us so warmly this evening. Thank you to Sarah Tucker-Lazarus and Sarah Gershon, who work on our security along with the New Orleans police, as well as other volunteers from Touro Synagogue. It is essential that we are safe, and we invest to make sure that when you are here, you feel secure. It's a top priority. Thank you to our Shabbat Pulpit Flower sponsors. The Pulpit Flowers are given in honor of our 2026 graduates by their loving families, in memory of Victor K. Kayam, by Lisa and David Schlackman, in memory of William Anthony Lovett, by John Lovett, Morrill Kilroy, Claire Lovett, and Leslie Lovett, in memory of Stephen D. Powell, by Joseph Baden-Miller. Thank you to our Shabbat live stream sponsors as well, and for those who are joining us on live streams, we're happy that you're here. In memory of Esther Steinbach Vanderberg, by Sarah Gershon. And a special thank you to Lily Pollock, who is incredibly talented and came in to play the guitar and the piano this evening at the last minute, and you're just incredibly talented, so thank you for that. To our graduating class, each of you has contributed so much to this community. We are beyond proud of you. Can't wait to see what's in store, and hope you know that this will always be your home. I have 3 sons who all sat where you have been. And they come home and they visit and they want to see their grandmother and they want to see Todd Silverman. So that's what happens. You'll be coming back, you'll be visiting. My middle son lives in New York City. His best friend from Touro lives there and he is exploring the city with him. And my oldest is getting married at Touro Synagogue next year. So while this might feel like an ending, it's actually just a new beginning. Mazel tov to you and to your proud families, and I think it's time to clap. A reminder that next Friday, May 29th, will be the last Shabbat service at Touro until August. It is Summer Union, and we will join our sister congregation at Gates of Prayer for Summer Union services beginning Friday, June 5th. We'll be at Temple Sinai for the month of July, and then we will convene back here for the month of August. We are so excited for our congregational journey to Poland and the Czech Republic, which is happening this October. It promises to be an incredible trip. This trip will be a mixture of sadness and inspiration, a pilgrimage to a part of the world where many of our families lived before coming to America, and where Jewish civilization developed for over 1,000 years. The deadline to register for this is Sunday, June 14th. So again, if you're interested, please look in your order of service, and you can research it at Touro as well. The last time to register is June 14th, because we do need a final count. You can learn more and register at tourosynagogue.com/travel, tourosynagogue.com/travel. If you have any questions or concerns about the trip, please feel free to reach out to anyone at the Touro office. All are welcome for Shabbat dinner this evening at the Grant Meyer Garden Pavilion and the Jacobs Social Hall following services. Tonight's Shabbat dinner is given in honor of the 2026 graduates by your families. Shabbat Shalom.
A word of welcome before we conclude. Whether you're visiting or this is your congregational home, we're so glad you're here, and you're very welcome to enjoy Shabbat dinner and to introduce yourself to the many congregational leaders and members who are here tonight. I want to offer a special thank you to the parent committee of the 2026 graduates who made the room so special and beautiful. Wait till you see all the pictures and the flags and the balloons and just everything to make it happy and celebratory. We're so grateful to each of you for your leadership. I also want to echo the words of thanks to Sarah Tucker Lazarus, who through weeks of work wrestled each of you a piece of Jewish swag from your chosen university. So I hope that you enjoy what's in there, and we can't wait to see it and see it on you. And thank you so much, Sarah, for taking on that mighty project and making sure you can wear your college pride with Jewish pride as well. This class, as I reflect on their journey, had a really interesting and challenging progression through their high school years. This class was all of their B'nai Mitzvah were extremely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Many had to shift dates and have B'nai Mitzvah smaller and in masks, and through those challenges, they became much closer, and it was a wonderful thing to see. This class went through confirmation, they were in confirmation during the year of October 7th, and so there was a lot to process, becoming Jewish leaders at that time and coming into Jewish adulthood. And again, as much laughing as it sounds like you all did before and during and after, and I enjoyed witnessing that. They also had really brilliant things to say and to learn from each other, and very proud of the journey that each of you has taken and the way that you set an example for all of our young people. I hope that these nights, as individual and personal and particular as they are, fill each one of us with a sense of hope and a sense of joy for what is to come. We have so many amazing young people growing up in this congregation, and so many, and they see the world in very powerful and special ways. And your light is so sorely needed, not just on this dreary Friday afternoon, but in this difficult moment in our world. So thank you for being leaders, for keeping your eyes up and your head held high, and we're behind you 100% of the time. We conclude tonight with something beautiful. What are we doing?
Conclude tonight.
Okay.
On the bottom of page 344,
There we
you'll
go.
see the words to Simon Tov and Mazel Tov. It is a good and
Beautiful.
lucky,
It's beautiful.
a good and lucky sign for us. You know, there's something about this moment where we call it a lucky sign. And that means that this is just one glimpse of a fantastic future ahead. And we say for us and for all Israel, the way we celebrate with you and congratulate you isn't to congratulate you, but to congratulate ourselves, because you are of us. You and your successes are successes that the entire people of Israel, the entire Jewish people, get to celebrate and are strengthened by. And so we'd like to invite you forward at this time. That would be you, our high school graduates. The bottom of 344.
Please rise.
Semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, yehelanu. Semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, yehelanu. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecho Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom.